Now, lastly from me, I want to talk to you about a really important resource that we've got that is available for students and parents to work with, which is Pixel Independence. Now, Pixel Independence is part of the Pixel Partnership, which is Pixel stands for Partners in Excellence. There's about 1,800 schools, and they talk about this mantra of diagnosis, therapy, testing. They're all about improving student outcomes. And the diagnosis, therapy, testing concept is very simple. It fundamentally means that we diagnose what the area of concern is. We provide some therapy, something to help improve it, and then we've got to test. Has it actually worked? And it's that testing in particular that students are most loath to do. They don't mind kind of diagnosing and doing a little bit of therapy, but when it comes to the testing, they're less willing. And that's where it all falls down. If we don't test to see what we've actually learned, talked earlier about high quality working. If we're not doing the testing, the exam papers, the questions, whatever it might be, how do we actually know what we're doing is working? We might have produced the world's most beautiful mind map, but has it actually had any impact? We only know that by testing ourselves. So Pixel Independence helps you do that. Now, it's available to anyone in our school, but mustn't be given out. It's copyrighted. I can't stick it on the website. It's password protected. That's why all the details will come out to you in an email. Sorry. So this is independence for two things. It's independence for post-16, which is really important when you get to A-levels. Nameless Leverage will be talking to people about that. The level of independence is substantially more. And again, that's true of the world of work. Spoon-fed as sometimes students are in schools, or some schools, we work very hard to develop independence, but this is another opportunity for them to take it on themselves and to start developing those skills that are going to make them successful. Again, what's the key? Well, the key of all of these messages is learning to address their own weaknesses and areas to develop. It's how to improve on them. It's not just spotting they're there, but it's learning about what I can do to make them better. Not always relying on other people. Other people are there to help, but it's moving away from that reliance. And it's building that broader motivation, that engagement in wider reading and things like that that's going to breed success. So how does it work? Well, the subjects have at least one independent book, and there are updating these all the time. They're available via a student website, and they're also saved on SharePoint. Basically, you log on, you download the booklet, you download the learning templates, you work through them. You work out what it is you don't know. And then there's some support and guidance to work out how to address the issue. Now, one of the best supports and guidance, of course, are the teachers, which is to say, well, look, I don't understand this, where can I go and get this information? And then it's about showing the teachers what they've done and getting some really quick, instantaneous feedback on what they've learned. All of this is verbal feedback in order to make it quick, sharp, and prompt. It's not about them submitting 15 pages of extended writing, not having it taking a week or so to turn around. It's about quick, short, sharp feedback. Have I got it? Yes, move on. Have I got it? No, here's where I go to check it again. So again, here's the details we sent out, but this is what the logon will look like. And this is the basic cycle. So you've got at the top there the independent learning, which is given or the student decides to do. They identify the booklet. They find out what they need to know. They think about what they could do. And again, this could be asking the teacher, but there's plenty of other things that they've got already to help them with that. And then they use the templates that I'm just going to talk you through. And one of the templates gives you the opportunity to write 5 questions. And they say, what 5 questions can you now ask me to show that I've learned this? And they write the questions, and then they give it to you, they give it to the teacher, and they ask the question, you listen to the answer, and the teacher will say, yes, brilliant, have you thought about X or Y, or I think you need to go and look at that again. And they've immediately got test, have I learnt it? So they've done all the work, they've produced the resource, but they've got that closing of the circle, that test, that instantaneous feedback. Do I need to do more on this, or have I got it? Can I move on? And that's really the key to the strategy. So what do the booklets look like? Well, here's an example. You can see it's got 5 levels, and there's just some pages from the GCSE physics book. What does it all mean? Well, these are kind of the things that are included. So you can see there are credits available for different activities. So knowledge quizzes, credits, wider reading, more credits, essay style questions, lots of credits. It's really just to give you an idea of the level of challenge. Knowledge quiz, multiple choice doesn't take long. The wider reading, that's going to have a bigger impact. That's going to have even more, it's going to develop them even more in terms of what they're learning and what they need to do. So the harder the task, the more credits. Obviously, it's not just about doing the more credits, because the knowledge quizzes are really useful in their own right, but it's about balancing them. If all I do are knowledge quizzes, there's going to be more limited impact. And one of the other things that comes with it are a load of templates. And for many of these, students will have seen them before, and they might say, I've done that, I don't like that. But the reason these templates have been put together is not because they're rocket science, because each one makes the students think. And it's that idea of transforming information from one format to the other that again helps make it stick. You can't do most of these with a phone, with music. You've got to really think about it, and that's where some of the resistance comes from. So I'd urge students to really think carefully about using some of these. They'll be using some of them in lessons, and really giving each one of them at least a couple of goes before they say, no, I don't like this. They might not all of them for everyone, but try it would be my message. So you've got the ranking triangle, where you're thinking about analysis and importance. You've got this thinking hard model, which is all about reducing and then transforming into pictures, which they particularly hate, because that's really difficult and really makes them think and really makes it stick. And then if we move on, there's some boxing up, dividing information into categories. Then you've got some what would I want to ask? Do I have answers? What do I need to ask the teacher? You've got some quizzing, you've got another transforming one. Some of these will work better for some subjects than others, but all of them will work for a subject. All subjects have something in here they can dip into. So there's lots of resources there which you'll need to go and have a look at and take some time with. But if I summarize it, what would I need to do? So firstly, it's about the atmosphere in which they work, finding the right space away from distractions. It's about time, not spending too long, not being too quick, having a healthy snack, helping them to have balance, taking time out when they need to. 30 minutes of really focused time, as I said, is better than an hour or even 90 minutes of distracted, this kind of work, in inverted commas. Secondly, have a look at the Pixel website, see what's there, see how easy it is to navigate, see what is available and support students with that. Again, the first thing about independence is actually going on and having a look. And that's why it's independence. Why we're not going to print it all out and give it to them, because it's about independence. And again, if they use the question and answer revision strategy, then take the time to review it with them. Ask the questions, see what they've got to say. Check the level of confidence with which they can answer. That's often an indication of how well they've actually revised it. And then, most importantly, how do we do it? Well, we guide. We don't instruct. It's all about guiding. It's about encouraging, listening, and creating that atmosphere of success. And that's what we can do. We can put them in the best position, and then obviously it's down to the individual to make that a success. So please keep an eye out for the email with the details of the Pixel Independence username and password. Have a look at the Preparing to Perform booklet, which will be attached to the email. Use the details to have a look at the additional resources, and please ensure that Teams is working and students are happy with how to use it. I'm sure they all are, but please double check. And finally, remind students that every lesson counts and every assessment counts, because this is going to be, I suspect, another funny year. But it's a year, again, that all the students are doing is competing against their peers. They are in no worse a situation than anyone else, and it might only be 79 points to win the Premiership this year. Thanks for listening. I hope it's been useful. We look forward to seeing you all again soon.